game day.
Welcome in to another episode of Chiefs Focus Live. It's Raiders week. We're going to talk about Arrowhead West and how the Chiefs are probably going to dominate Arrowhead West. But we got some more wide receiver news, actual news, not just speculation about new guys getting acquired, some guys that want to come back, and somebody that ended up on the IR. And we're going to go ahead and, like I said, talk about the injury report. Chiefs have got some new guys on there. The Raiders have a bunch of guys on there. So we're going to go ahead and hit up all that. With that being said, my name is Quentin Morris. We've got Thiz running the show in the background. Caleb the Professor's here. And now a guy who is just old enough to tell his fish stories. It's the old man himself, JP.
What's up, guys?
Pretty good. How you guys doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Crazy news this week, huh?
Crazy news. And it's just what's funny about it is just how early in the day it came up. You know,
Yeah,
because the reporting came out.
a.m.
Yeah, I think it was Adam Schefter that originally came out and said that, you know, this was a phone call that started at midnight, Kansas City time, and then the deal was done just before 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So that was the weird part about it. So if for some reason you're under a rock and you don't know, DeAndre Hopkins has been traded to Kansas City. It was official today. He spoke with the Kansas City media. He didn't really say a lot when he spoke to the media, but he's here. He's here for a 5th-round draft pick that could turn into a 4th-round pick if the Chiefs make the Super Bowl and he plays 60% of the snaps. So when he plays 59% of the snaps, he's going to get benched. But in order for him to be on the roster, the Chiefs had to create a roster spot. And today, Skyy Moore ended up on the IR with a core muscle injury.
Interesting.
It was in his hands.
Which tells me he must have had a real bad stomach cramp this morning for them to ask him to take a step aside because they needed that roster spot.
Yeah, his hands were cramping up pretty bad. It's been going on for about a year and a half now.
Yeah.
So,
just you know, what are your general thoughts? I mean, literally, we talked about, you know, this for a while, right? Kansas City making a move, and who was available out there. So Kansas City makes a move for, you know, a big name wide receiver who isn't the way he is. That he isn't the same guy that he used to be, but you know, this is still a top end wide receiver in the NFL.
Hold on. You said a guy that isn't what he used to be.
He's not what he used to be.
Okay, yeah. When you're playing with the scrubs that he's been playing with for the last 3 years,
he does pretty good with scrubs, though.
I mean, I'm saying like, you know, Houston Texans day DeHop when he's playing with Deshaun Watson back then, like when he was the best wide receiver in the league. He's not the best wide receiver in the league anymore.
No, he's definitely
still a quality guy. I'm not taking any digs at him.
Oh, you're digging, all right. You're digging deep. And
he's not a 1,500-yard receiver anymore.
He's a 1,000-yard receiver.
There's a big difference between there.
Oh, there is, but we're not looking for a 1,500-yard receiver.
No, we're not.
You know, look, they talked about him. At least what I was told, they were asked about him like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I was told that they were asking a second for him, which everybody laughed.
Yeah.
And how many? I mean,
with
how
that
long?
salary.
Yeah, and we've been trying to get him. We've inquired about him for the last 5 years, trying to get him in the building, and it never worked out. Well, I think a part of this was a deal. You know, think about who's on their team that probably shouldn't be on their team right now. I mean, especially who did they get for pennies from us? Absolute pennies. A guy on the defense.
Snead.
So I imagine, you know, they probably from what I heard, they called back like 3 days ago and said they would deal a little bit. And then it started up basically late, about midnight, and ended at 6 o'clock in the morning. That tells you that Veach and Andy never sleep, which they don't. Andy has a cot at the stadium, so it doesn't really matter.
That doesn't surprise me. They probably all do got beds.
Yeah. So it's pretty amazing that they got it done, especially for the draft pick that they got. Plus, Tennessee's eating part of his salary. It's not a bad thing. Yes, he's 32 years old. For everybody out there that assumed that we weren't going to sign anybody over 30, now you're wrong. But I think he's going to be a tremendous help. He's playing Sunday, by the way. He's actually playing against the Raiders.
That's perfect.
So,
We could use him.
Yeah. So it's pretty. I mean, you got to figure he's not going to be sitting around. He hasn't been sitting around. He's in shape. All he's got to do is pick up some basic plays, which he's a pretty intelligent guy.
He'll be able to do that for sure.
He'll be fine. Yeah. I mean, they're playing the Raiders, so it's not like a big thing. Get him out there, get him acclimated, get Pat some yardage under his belt for finally this year. I mean, Skyy Moore deserved to be on the IR about, I don't know, week 8 of 2023. But regardless, he's gone now for a while. Thank God. And I'm just going to say this. Don't be surprised if another move's not made.
Offense or defense?
I think it's offense.
Another receiver?
Might be.
Who?
Playing tonight. I'll just leave it at that. Oh no,
They want too much for Cooper Kupp.
It's not Cooper Kupp.
They want too much for him.
I have no interest in a wide receiver that has consistent soft
Justin Jefferson
injuries.
No, he's not playing tonight. I was actually watching something else. Wait, is the Rams playing the Vikings tonight?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, he is playing tonight.
Yeah, he almost caught a touchdown pass.
Who is it?
DHop, bro.
Oh my God! Why? Okay, we're going. Okay, all right. Well, we'll see.
I'm just telling you, don't be surprised.
Hopefully, he doesn't run backwards.
He's done very well since he left here.
Let me ask you guys this. I guess it's more of a two-parter.
Thinking about this, Quentin.
Two-parter. Do you think the Chiefs should go after another wide receiver? And should they go after another wide receiver? So it's like, what do you think, and will they do it?
I think they should, just simply because it's going to be difficult. You're still thin. You're still thin at the position. Yep. So I think they should. Should they go after somebody that doesn't know the system now? Hell no. Go after somebody that's used to playing in this system. I do believe DHop would do well. He hasn't done any weird crap since he's been gone from Kansas City, but he also hasn't had Tyreek Hill to contend with, trying to be somebody that he's not. If you ever noticed, when DHop played his game, he did well. He did well with it. It was when he tried to pull all the trickery shit that it didn't work out real well for him. I did hear
in the back of the end zone, dropping passes.
Yeah, I did hear that Veach was interested in in another, and he has been. You're right, Christian Kirk is linked, but I think his cap hit is crazy. So I don't know. I don't know how that would work out. I mean, they'd have to immediately extend him, and I just don't know if Veach is willing to do that, given the fact that he has all these other guys that are coming back. He's got Hollywood Brown. He's got Rashee Rice. He's got all these guys that are going to be back next year. So
Hollywood Brown can come back at the end of the season.
He can come back at the end of this season.
But Jacko's a 1-2 punch. I mean,
yeah, but that's running back.
Green.
Yeah, we just got to worry about. We got to get through this season. We got 11 games left, and with that 11 games, we have to have enough wide receivers to be able to sustain. But I did hear that he was interested in a couple of defensive players, specifically a cornerback, and I'm not sure who it was. I couldn't get a name out of either one of the people I talked to today. So I would tell you that I would venture to say it's going to be a wide receiver right now.
I think that you know me, I'm generally pretty, stick with what you have, and I'm not take a lot of big swings, just because I don't really believe that the Chiefs are in a position that they should, pull like what the Rams did. So with all that being said, I do think that another move should occur, but I think it should be one of the smaller moves that we've been discussing for a while.
Yeah.
So I think, going after basically what would end up being your number 3 wide receiver, because Kansas City, you're right, they are just so thin at the wide receiver spot. And all it takes is, one injury, whether it's Juju not being able to come back for a little bit longer than we thought, or something along that line, to where, this wide receiver room continues to just look really thin. So I do think another move on the horizon, But what I literally mean, I'm literally talking like, 7th round pick for a guy type thing.
That would be DHop.
Right. I literally am talking like
here's
a 7th round pick. Kansas City, I believe, has 2 7th round picks this year, like something like that. We're talking on the margins, but a veteran that you can bring in, and you don't depend on him as much, but you really just need him for your depth.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me and DHop and the pain he has caused me as a Chiefs fan, but I'm just saying, just think of if we get DHop, this is what the wide receiver room is going to look like. Hollywood Brown's going to come back. Xavier Worthy, DHop, Juju Smith-Schuster, D-Rob. That's really good. If Rashee Rice somehow can come back,
he ain't coming back this year.
But that's a really good wide receiver group. So
I don't see him coming back. I just don't see.
All I'm saying is that for those receivers besides D-Rob, and we're not even talking about Justin Watson. We're not even talking about Kelsey. Like, this is a Madden Ultimate team right now when everybody comes back.
When everybody comes back. Here's the thing: Rice isn't going to be back this year. I'm just telling you, he's not going to be. And
I'm excluding. Sorry, I'm excluding Rice from that group.
Oh, okay, all right. Sorry, yeah.
But this it's a Madden team, though. Basically, it feels like
it is. I just think it's the thin Madden team. That's the problem. You lose one guy. We've seen what happened when we lost Rice. Because we didn't have Hollywood Brown. Then you lose Rice. Then you lose Pacheco, which is your other,
We did lose Pacheco. That is true.
Yeah, was there a point to that?
I think he froze. It's all good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We'll get back in here.
Yeah, I think the point he was making is that, Kansas City has lost a lot just on the offense in general. Like, it's crazy that Kansas City has lost so many players and we're still undefeated. Patrick Mahomes is playing bad football and we're still undefeated. And so, to a certain extent, these are champagne problems, as I've heard them being called. But yeah, I think that because you're trying to do something that has never been done before, and it just seems to mean so much to so many people in that building that you really need to not push all your chips in, but you need to be a little bit more liberal with the amount of chips that you have right now.
Okay,
all they did was give a fourth. That could be a third for DHop. I feel like that's reasonable.
Could be a fourth.
Oh, well, I feel like that's pretty reasonable, though.
It is.
For DHop.
Philip just said something, and I've been saying this and pounding the table for it, and I think it still could happen. Don't be surprised if Ross isn't elevated.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have all these guys available. Skyy Moore, we already know.
AP, you're lucky that my camera isn't working. Otherwise, you just seen a hella head shake right there when you just said that.
I don't care what you think of him. He's a damn good player.
He's so good that when DeAndre Hopkins came into town, he took his number. That's how good he is.
Probably idolized DHop. He's like, I'm going to use this opportunity to get some one-on-one.
Exactly. Thank you.
Quinn, don't be a hater.
The doubt.
Be a lover.
God. Anyway,
we brought Cornell Powell to the practice squad. And
don't be surprised if Skyy Moore doesn't lose his number to Justin Ross.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, God. You are now 36.
Let's see. What's next up on? Okay. Speaking of Skyy Moore, Skyy Moore has been. Oh, we already talked about that, didn't we?
Yeah, we talked about Skyy.
We got some drama.
Oh, we got some drama that you guys wanted to talk about. That's the other wide receiver news that we were going to bring up. Before this conversation even starts, I don't care. Proceed, gentlemen.
JP, can I take this one over?
You go right ahead, buddy. I'm just going to sit here and giggle.
The grass looks greener on the other side. That's all I'm going to say. I like Tyreek. I appreciate everything he did on Kansas City. Look, if Veach and them could have paid him the money, they would. But there's not unlimited like baseball. The Chiefs don't have it like that. Where's a salary cap? The issue we're seeing is this. Because the Chiefs decided to trade away Tyreek Hill, we got a bundle of picks. And we got some of the best players that's helping our team now do very, very well and be very, very successful. Tyreek Hill's been posting tweets like this. He's been on Snapchat, I've been told, putting up old Chiefs highlights. Look, brother, we happy that you got paid and everything, but the only way you're gonna come back here if you're making the league minimum, what is $750,000 or something like that. That's the way you're gonna come back. And we ain't giving you a buttload for it. Now, I'm going to tell you this. If DHop gets traded to the Chiefs, I'm telling you right now, man, that dude going to do anything possible to get out of there. We're going to have an ultimate team. But the point is this. We all love Tyreek Hill, but he chose the money. And that's fine. But it helped Mahomes elevate his game, and we won 2 Super Bowls because of it.
Yep.
So, yes, it's great and all for what he did, but I wouldn't trade him. I'm not didn't have hurt feelings when we traded him, and now I feel fine even more. Because I knew that you can only do so much, and he was on way limiting. He was going to get his touches, but our offense now, I mean, it's kind of like the Kareem Hunt situation. If Kareem Hunt would have been on the team the first year he was second year was with us, and if he would have been on the team we won a Super Bowl, we wouldn't have probably won it again. But because he got cut, all the stuff that happened, unfortunately, the Chiefs had to make some changes on the defense, and we were in a better spot. So it all works out. I just don't see how Tyreek Hill's going to get here. I really don't.
He's not.
He says one thing about the Dolphins, how he wants to be there and all these different things. He talks about 200 concussions, and he's doing this stuff. I'm like, dude, okay. If DHop comes here, man. I'm going to tell you right now, hey, if DHop comes here, this man going to start acting crazy. I'm going to tell you. He's going to start posting pictures of him and Pat, him and Kelsey. Be like, come on, guys, please. Be like, no, unless you can take them to leave minimum. Because you know good and well they're going to want a second-round pick for him.
The thing is, he's trolling.
He could be too.
He's absolutely trolling. He doesn't give a shit. He's happy where he's at. Now Tua is back. He made a little comment. He made a little comment today, and he said when they announced Tua coming back, he said, "We're fucking back, baby." That's what he said.
But then he's posting his highlights of his Chiefs highlights.
But that Chiefs highlight was before Tua came back. That stuff he did that like
but he's been doing it before, and he also did afterwards too.
Well, I don't think he really cares either. He said, keep an eye on Browns, Zadarius Smith, who played under Chiefs D-line coach Joe Cohen. Tried to recruit the Chiefs D-line Chris Jones to Kentucky, and he'll only cost about $6 million for the next 2 years. That could happen.
What do you see happen?
Oh, he was talking about Zadarius Smith from the Browns. Yeah,
that's another good option.
I mean, it could happen. I mean, you never know. I don't see Tyreek wanting to leave there. First of all, he's going to lose a buttload of money if he does. He just signed that extension. They gave him $60 million more on top of his contract that he has. He just signed that at the beginning of 2024. So I don't see him going anywhere. I think he's trolling everybody. He's trying to get everybody up, and he's very good at that. He's the king of messing with people's minds. I just don't. I wouldn't care. I mean, I don't look, man. Every time he's on the field, or especially for the last year he was with us, it was kind of a disaster. He really does. He needs to move on. He's never going to move on though, Philip. He loves to do this stuff. He loves to get everybody riled up. But
no, that's Tyrann Mathieu.
Well, Tyrann Mathieu does too. But although he's been pretty damn quiet.
I think that situation just kind of taught him a lot. And you saw he hugged Veach and was happy and stuff. I think it was just more of a maturing moment for him too. I have no ill will against him. So that's how I feel personally.
Don't care.
Yeah, nobody cares. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't want him back. He will disrupt what we have going right now. He would actually disrupt it. If he comes back, I guess everybody just have to wait and see. I don't think it would ever happen. He said he wanted to retire a Chief. I don't see that happening, but you never know. There's other players out there that will do just fine in our position and for what we need. D-Rob, Justin Ross, all those guys would do just fine for what we need to do. We don't need 2 wide receiver ones. We just don't.
It would help. Just saying.
It would help, but we don't need it.
Just imagine DHop, Travis Kelce, and Tyreek Hill.
That would be. I don't know.
I mean, like that's a ultimate team right there.
Did you see D-Hop's video that he posted?
Which one?
Of him
and his wife and his kid.
Yeah, singing Taylor Swift.
Singing Taylor Swift. That was good.
He knew. He was going
already.
to Kansas City.
Yeah, he knew. So he knew. That was posted about two days before the trade actually was announced. So they must have brought it up to him and said, "Hey, look, this is what's been brought up to us. Do you want to do it?" He probably said, "Hell yeah, get me the fuck out of here." I would have wanted to leave. So anyway, that was a surprising move. I'm still a little surprised about that because it's been really 5 years of us trying to get him. And with his contract, as much as he was owed, I was like, man, there's no way Veach would do this. No way.
Mm-hmm.
But it worked out in our favor.
It did. And hey, and JP knows I've said this 100 times, but you want a ring or you want money?
Yeah.
So this time he chose the ring. Let's hope it works out.
Well, he's still getting paid a little bit from them.
That is true.
Why not? We're gonna have to pay him, I think, $4.6 million.
That's not bad. We'll find. No. They have the money. They'll find it.
They already did because they were down to they were right at $4 million, and they did some shuffling. So they're
probably Mahomes like, yeah, I'll move some money over for DHop.
Yeah.
Don't have to tell him, ask me twice.
Take part of my bonus. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
He's supposing with Levis will break anyone's spirit. Hell yeah, it would. That guy's terrible. I don't know, man. There's going to be a lot more going on in the next 2 weeks. With all this fire sale, and I mean, there's 3 teams that are going on fire sale right now. So it's going to be really cool to see who ends up where.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Buffalo Bills were ready for that to happen. They thought they did something. They thought they did that to us, though. Oh, man, we got him, and I know the Chiefs were wanting him. And then we go out and get DHop. That just broke all their spirits. That just destroyed everybody on that team. All their fans are crying. Is what it is.
Well, we got some firepower.
That's the power of each. He does things that nobody will ever expect him to do. And he just gets it done.
And we're gonna we expect him to make some more moves possibly. Do you think that he's going all in?
I think he's going to go in as far as he can absolutely go this year without look. Veach is not a guy that likes dead cap space. He doesn't want to be in that situation at all. He will go in as far as he can possibly go without putting himself in jeopardy for the next 3 or 4 years. That's just how he is.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, this is a legacy thing for him. It's a legacy thing for Andy, Mahomes, Kelsey, everybody on this football team that's been here for the last 2 Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So, you get to a third one and you win it. That's pretty solid.
That's a fair point. Do you think that he's going all in?
Team has ever done. No matter how you look at it, winning 3 in a row is better than anything everybody's ever done. Any other team, you can't put a price on that. So Veach is probably looking at it going, well, what do I do here? Do I put myself $8-10 million in the hole, or do I do my thing, finagle it through, and build upon this?
You got to work.
Yeah, and that's what he did. So it was a pretty solid move.
I mean, do we expect, like you said, he could be trading for the Darius Smith is one. We think he could possibly trade for DHop. I mean, for a 7th round pick.
Christian Kirk is in there.
Christian Kirk. I mean, he probably could take DHop.
I would take DHop. I think. Here's why.
Cheap.
It's cheap, and he knows the system.
And it's draft capital cheap.
He knows the system. We know he knows the system. He was here for 6 years?
Yeah.
So why not give him an opportunity? Save yourself the cap, save yourself the draft capital, put somebody on the field that does know the system, can get downfield,
and
let him do his thing. It's not like he's going to be out there on every play, because he's not.
Yeah.
I think Thiz is upset about that whole DHop thing.
Thiz is so mad. Let me see what this said.
He said yuck about 67,000 times. See, yuck. I'm not going to complain if he wins back.
Hey, see, Thiz and I are on the same page. That's why we get along. We see our understanding with this.
I don't know, man. I think he's a good player. He's good enough to still be in the league.
That's a fair point.
That tells you a lot right there. He's not on somebody's practice squad. So
yep.
I'd definitely give him a shot. If I was going to go after somebody right now, and it was going to be a low-tier wide receiver, it'd be him.
Why not just elevate Justin Ross, though?
Or we could do that as well. We could.
I know Quinn would love that move.
Well. All right, I think it's time to move on to a new topic.
Cry about it a little bit, Quentin. Cry real quick. Go cry in the car.
Let's The injury report is a topic that we do every single week. Go over the general guys that have missed practice by some time. We usually start with the Chiefs, but I want to start with the Raiders this week because there's something that I wanted to point out that's pretty big, and is that Max Crosby did not practice today, and he showed up on the injury report on Wednesday with an ankle injury.
He's being traded.
I think so too.
That is, it is very interesting that would have happened. Now, I imagine that he plays this week, but if he doesn't play, whether it's because he's getting traded or because he hurt his ankle, that is huge for Kansas City to not have to deal with Max Crosby.
It is because you know who he lines up against, right?
Your worst tackle.
Yeah, your worst tackle. Mm-hmm. So, look, I would be okay if he didn't play. And I agree with Caleb. I think he's getting traded.
Yeah.
I've heard this 4 or 5 times over the last 3 days. I really think he's getting traded.
Probably the Lions. All that Raiders love has kind of changed on them pretty quickly.
It really has. And think about it. All the talk came out and what we've heard personally, and then all of a sudden he just shows up on the injury report and didn't practice. Mm-hmm. It's too coincidental, man. I think I 100% think he's getting traded. Sadly, I think he's going to go to a team. I'm hoping if he goes to the Lions, I'll throw up because they will be scared. I will throw up. But
it's the NFC's problem, not ours.
What's that?
It's the NFC's problem, though, not ours.
It was if we have to play him in the Super Bowl.
You think the Lions are going to make the Super Bowl?
I don't know, man. I don't know. You look at the talent that's in the NFC right now. They're the front runners. They really are.
Yeah, the Eagles.
No, the Eagles are garbage.
Yes, Sirianni. Never mind.
Yeah, they're not going to make it. They've played nobody this year, and that's why they're looking halfway decent. Once they start playing some decent teams, they're going to fall apart. It's no different than the Bills right now. They've had a pretty damn soft schedule, and they're looking great against these scrub teams. But the 2 teams they lost against were pretty tough football teams. So, anyway, yeah, man. If he goes, I think he's definitely going to go to an NFC team. I have no doubt. Unless Telesco says, look, let's trade him within the division, so maybe he'll still torment Mahomes, like Mahomes has tormented us. Who knows? I doubt it, but you never know. Telesco's kind of a shady bastard. Kind of, it is what it is. But I bet he gets traded. I have no doubt. You'll probably hear about it in the next week. He'll be gone.
Yeah. It's now the thing is that he just signed a new contract.
I don't know. That was in 2023, wasn't it?
Well, let's take a gander at it.
It might have been 22.
Oh, look at this. He has a player option at the end of the year.
A player option.
He can opt. Yeah, he can opt out. He can opt out of the rest of the contract.
Well, there you go then. There you go. I wouldn't be surprised if he's ready to leave. He's been there for a long time. He's dealt with all the losses, all the heartbreak. I wouldn't want to be there. Why would you? You're that good. Why would you want to stay with a team that just continually, year after year, going through coaches, going through GMs, going through this? It's not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think Adams wanted out so bad? At some point, you
want to go there, though.
They think they're going to make the difference. Adams wanted to go there because he always wanted to be a Raider.
It's a team game. It's more than just one individual.
It is.
You know that.
Yeah. But these guys don't know that. Sometimes they think they're the answer to, the end all.
Sometimes they are, but not in these last couple cases. But Crosby was drafted there.
He was.
So that's all he knows.
There's nothing he can do about that. He decided to sign that contract with them after his rookie season. And, he thought things were going to change. It didn't. It got worse. They're going to come up with a new head coach next year. Brady's probably going to try and recruit Belichick to be the head coach of the Raiders.
He don't let him have all that control.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it a bit. Because if Belichick comes in, it's a win-win for them. Belichick's the GM and the head coach. They don't need Telesco anymore.
Good point.
So
excuse me.
Mark Davis is going, let me count my pennies, and Brady gets what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Not that Belichick's going to be the complete turnaround for that football team. We've seen what happened to him after Brady left.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if you guys remember, I mean, you probably don't, but Belichick wasn't that good of a coach prior to Brady.
Well, no. Yes, he was.
No, he was not.
Belichick is no. I don't agree with you. Everywhere Belichick has gone, he has been.
He made it to the playoff as the Browns.
Yeah, everywhere he's gone,
that takes a lot of talent.
So did Marty Schottenheimer, though. So did Marty Schottenheimer.
That's a different echelon of a coach. We're comparing apples and oranges now.
All I'm saying is he wasn't the Super Bowl winning coach that he was prior to Brady. He wasn't after Brady. They couldn't win. They didn't even have a winning record after Brady. It's I don't think he's going to make that much of a difference in the Raiders organization. I just don't see it. It would take him. Look, he's 73 years old. Think about this. Belichick's 73 years old. It's going to take him to get to any kind of level, a minimum of 2 years, minimum. So he's going to be 75 when they're halfway decent. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, Max Crosby was a 4th-round pick.
Yeah.
But after this year, 2025, 2026 season, he has 0 guaranteed salary. So these back-end deals are fictional years to begin with. So,
so
basically, wherever he gets traded to, he's going to need a new contract after the year's over.
Yep.
Basically, a 1-year rental.
Basically, yeah. Man, that's crazy.
You know who's going to – I mean, dude, there's so many teams out there that need him.
The Chiefs anybody could use Max Crosby.
Wouldn't play. I don't think he'd play.
I know that, but my point, he's a great player.
He really is.
He's one of the best edge rushers in NFL.
He is. He absolutely is. And he's going to be – who knows where he's going to go. Does he have the option to go where he wants?
I mean –
probably they'll give it to him.
I mean –
NFC most likely.
Yeah, he would have to get traded to the NFC.
If he picks an NFC team, he may stick in California. We don't know. He may stick in California. He likes it out there. Don't be surprised if he didn't go to the 49ers or even the Rams.
Really funny if the Cowboys traded for him and then they just paid him instead of Michael Parsons.
Oh, my God. That would kill Michael. He would quit. Michael Parsons would just quit. He quit. He quit his job. Yeah, I'm done. So that'd be terrible. But that's Jerry Jones. He does some weird shit. So anyway, what's next?
Well, that was really the only interesting part on the Raiders injury report that I wanted to point out because, either scenario it means Max Crosby may not play. A lot of the guys on the Chiefs side were pretty much aware of. Juju not practicing, Mike Dana not practicing. Kareem Hunt earlier in the week was limited with a hip injury, but there's nothing really on the injury report other than the guys that we already know about that aren't going to play. So there's nothing really interesting in terms of that sense.
Hey, go back to the injury report for the Raiders real quick. I saw something. Oh, he was full practice. Forget it. Okay. I saw Minshew on there. So.
Yeah, with his right elbow, but he's full participant.
Yeah.
Which means, he went to the athletic trainer and got ice on his elbow, and they have to put it on the injury report.
They probably popped that ingrown hair that was on his elbow and said, okay, you're good.
Yeah.
So, anyway. What do you think of the Chargers right now?
The Chargers are all right. We'll see.
This last week, what do you think after this last game?
We'll see. I mean, I'm not really worried about them.
I don't care about them until next year.
I was kind of surprised at that game. I was surprised at some of the mistakes that were made and people just slamming Justin Herbert. The dude threw for like 353 yards in that game, no interceptions, and people were slamming him. What more could they have asked out of him? He's not the problem.
Mm-hmm.
They have no wide receivers. Their defense is dog shit. They don't have a team. And not only that, Harbaugh tried to run the ball down that. He can't. He should have learned after the first 5 losses for 5 losses in a carry. He should have learned then, but he didn't. The first 5 runs were like all losses. I think they had a net 12 yards in rushing.
Mm-hmm.
And then Herbert starts slinging the ball downfield. People are catching it, but they're not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
And then the red zone was terrible. He can't control that. He has no offensive line, no defense, and no wide receivers. And he still threw for that amount of yardage. I think it was even more than 350. I think it was 382.
Dang.
He threw for a lot of yards in that game. He's going to get traded at the end of the year. You mark my words.
Yeah, I mean, a team who really needs a quarterback will take him. They should have did the first place time around, but again, what can you do?
No, I mean, man, think about it. I've said this for I don't know how long. How do you think the Miami would have done last year with Herbert and the year before? With the yards that they got, their explosive offense, they may have been in a Super Bowl.
I don't think
I'm
you're
kind of
wrong.
glad he wasn't with them, to be honest with you, because I don't think that frozen tundra game would have ended up the same way.
Mm-hmm. It would have been a lot different.
Yeah. So Harbaugh's making some weird mistakes as a head coach. And stuff that I didn't expect him to do.
Well, he's a different cloth from a different cloth for sure.
Man, he's a weird guy. Anyway, what's next, Quentin?
Let's get into the details of this game. We've got the Chiefs offense versus the Raiders defense. We've already discussed the Max Crosby effect of all of this, but I wanted to. Everybody has heard my rant about how bad the Raiders defensive backfield has been since, I don't know, the Obama administration. Yeah. So I wanted to talk to you guys about my theory that I have. I think that this is the breakout game for the passing offense. And I think that there are a couple of reasons why. One, I stand by my fact that the last time that we saw a good pass defense from the Raiders, it was in the mid 2000s. And I think that this is the game that it gets handled, right? Where Patrick Mahomes, because of the bad defense, because of his domination over the Raiders, specifically in Las Vegas, and let's not forget, this is a team that poked the bear during training camp.
Yep.
And
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah.
And Patrick Mahomes,
He'll get handled when it gets handled.
Yeah, get handled when get handled.
I think that it's about to get handled.
I agree. I agree with you. I absolutely agree. That's a horrible fucking thing to do. Anyway, terrible.
I think that the Chiefs are going to do a ring around the rosy type play.
I agree.
I think that they're going to get up, and you know me, I'm not, big score projection guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Chiefs are going to get up in a lead by 10 points, and then they're going to get in the red zone again, and they're going to pull something out of their ass, and they're going to have a stupid play, and it's going to be I can't even predict what kind of dumb play it'll look like, because I would have never predicted the ring around the rosy play. So it'll be something to that effect, and it'll score a touchdown, and it'll be all over Good Morning Football. It'll be all over ESPN and Fox Sports the next day, and it'll be all that's talked about on Monday.
Hey, if they do that, I'd be happy.
I agree. I can see that happening. I can see Mahomes actually having a 300-plus yard game this week. 3 touchdowns or more. I can see it happening. I agree with you, Quentin. This is the week that they put all of the doubters to rest about Mahomes and his offense and how bad he is and how, This is all Mahomes' fault, by the way. I don't know if you guys have read any of the bullshit that's going on.
Oh, we've seen him.
This is all his fault. He's played so badly and so poorly with, by the way, no wide receivers, that it's all his problem. He's just not the player anymore. He's not that guy. He's proven that yeah, that's what people are saying, buddy. He's not that guy anymore. He's just washed up. He's washed up at 29. So I think Quentin's right. I think this is the week that he just blows the roof off of it. Yep. He's going to shut all the haters up. And then they'll say, well, it's the Raiders. Division game. Doesn't matter who it is. It's a division game. It's like everybody that keeps saying that Lamar Jackson's playing so much better than Mahomes right now. And if we played him right now, it'd be a different story. No, it wouldn't. It's not about how well you're playing right now. It's how well you play against the Chiefs. Lamar Jackson's 1-4 against the Chiefs. That's simple. He's not played, he's played well. I'm not going to take anything away from him. He's a great quarterback. But that doesn't necessarily mean he's still ever going to beat Mahomes.
Good point.
So, he said he's seen comparisons to the movie Rookie of the Year with Mahomes. You think he's going to sit and take that shit? He's not. I agree with Quentin. I think he's going to blow the roof off. And you know what? DHop is going to – I have a feeling since he's playing in this game, I don't know if he's going to be limited or if he's going to be a full participant. I don't know yet. But if he's playing in this game, Mahomes is going to make everybody look stupid.
He's going to do
his
his thing.
DHop for that matter, because everybody says DHop's washed up, Mahomes is washed up, the Chiefs are on the downfall. I think this is going to be a rude awakening for the rest of the NFL. And I got to tell you, if you get off of Twitter and you go onto on a platform that's not full of idiots, you will see that these fans really they're truthful about it. And they were pissed. How the hell did the NFL allow Mahomes to get DHop?
That's their.
These are the things they say. Mahomes is the best player in the league. He may not be playing like it right now because of his situation, but they're truthful about it. These are the things that people say on other platforms. It's only X that you see the trolls and the bots and the idiots that come out and the 12-year-olds that somehow got an account. That's what you're running into there. But there's still, a lot of analysts have even said this stuff. Mahomes isn't looking the same. He does have a little bit on his mind. I mean, his dad just went to jail. So, I mean, and he didn't know what his dad's sentence was going to be prior to until the court date, until the sentencing. He had no idea. He didn't know if his dad was going to get 5 years, 10 years, because in Texas, that's what he was actually looking at. He got 10 days.
Wow. That's a lot light. Yeah.
That's light. He got 10 days and a 5-year probation, which is good. It's good for, I'm glad he did. I think he lost his license for maybe life, but at least he's not going to spend the rest of his, the next 5 or 10 years in jail. And that probably took a lot of weight off Mahomes' back. Because no matter how it is, and whether they have a good relationship or not, it seems like they do. That's something that weighs on your mind, regardless. So, hey man, I agree, Quentin. I think it's going to be a crazy, crazy, explosive game.
I also agree that I think DHop gets involved in the offense. Look, we saw Amari Cooper get involved in the offense, early up in Buffalo. I know that Devontae Adams has played with Aaron Rodgers, so it's not exactly a fair comparison, but he got involved in the offense early. Yeah. But you can get a guy involved in an offense. Look, everybody knows how to run a slant route. Okay. Now, he's not going to be, he's not going to be deep in the playbook, but he's been in the league for 12 years. Like, the guy can learn some plays within a week. Okay. So I think that he's going to be involved in the offense. And I think that early in the game, Patrick Mahomes is going to give him some throws, because you got to see what he can do out on the field.
Is this really his 12th season?
That's been a long time.
Oh my God. Wow. Crazy. Okay, go ahead.
Well, you think he's played for 4 teams over the last 5 years.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like I thought he came in when he was 23, but I guess he was 20.
So yeah, I think that he's going to get involved in the game often. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a simple bubble screen on the first drive in the first 10 plays. You know, we've
Give him the
got
ball.
DeAndre Hopkins catching a bubble screen, that goes for 7 yards on the first drive. So those are the kind of things I'm expecting from him. I don't think he's going to get 10 catches for our $125, but I imagine that he gets a decent amount of receptions, and he gets involved in the offense.
Yeah.
Let's move.
I bet they think. What do you think? He's got 11 games left in the season. How many yards do you think he's going to get?
Few hundred.
I think that
more than that.
Yeah. Probably 600, right? You figure about 75 a game.
Okay. I'm gonna put him about 700. In 11 games, I'm gonna give him 700 yards.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, think about it. He's the number one target right now, next to Kelsey, and I mean, I think he's gonna get about 700 yards. They're gonna utilize the shit out of him. Anyway, what's next, Quentin?
Flip it on the other side. We've got Chiefs defense versus the Raiders offense. So this conversation should take 2 minutes.
Yeah. I see 2 picks from our defense. Easy 2 picks.
Yeah, I just have 2 questions. Watson with his broken ankle, he's out. So what do some of the other guys look like, coming in? I know there's not a number 1 wide receiver or anything, but, I want to see what Yancey Johnson looks like and some of the other guys. I want to see how they handle Brock Bowers. Who do they put on him? And I think more importantly, I want to continue to see Felix Anudike-Uzomah play on the field. We saw him last week against the 49ers. He had a tackle for loss. He had a couple of pressures. He forced the run game to bounce back inside. So, we saw him on the field. We saw him participating in the defense. I want to see just a little bit more this week, and we'll see, what it is. So those are really my big 3 keys on the things that I want to see from the Chiefs defense.
Who do you think they're going to have on Brock Bowers?
I mean, it's going to be a mixed bag of guys. I think we're going to see a lot of Chamari Connor on him because I think he's that perfect safety / corner guy. And to be honest, if he plays well against him, then I'll come about bragging about him.
I think he's probably the best guy to be go against him. He's probably their best target. Now, I mean, he's their best receiver right now. If you think about it, sadly, I mean, who do they have? I mean, who do they have left?
Good point. Not much.
So I could see that happening. And Shamar is just athletic enough, can play both. He's fast. He can play both positions. I could see him being, who stepped up last week, and I would love to see him play in this game. He got an interception in the end zone right there. I mean, it was the first time he had been in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jaden Hicks came out and, wait a minute. I'll just go ahead and pick that off real quick. So I would love to see him more involved in the game. He's a star in the making, that kid. He is a star in the making. I tell you who else is really good. Philip, I can't think of his name right now. Oh God, Philip, you know who I'm talking about. He stepped in and got an interception as well on the sidelines. What's his name, Philip? I know you're there.
I know what you're talking about. I just don't remember his name.
I can't think of his name right now. Be damn. Philip will tell me in a minute. Anyway, he stepped in and played really well. And I would like to see him get more involved in the game. He's a really dynamic player. I don't know about – no, not Nazi Johnson.
It was someone with a hyphenated name.
He's got 2 names. Roland Wallace, Christian Roland Wallace. That kid's good. Mm-hmm. He is really good. He's a dynamic player. He steps in. He knows exactly where to be all the time. He's quick. I'm not I'm not 100% sold on Najee Johnson right now, especially after last week. He is off and on a lot. And I just don't like him he got burned pretty bad in that game.
Mm-hmm.
We have other options. That's why I'm not too concerned about losing Cook, because it just doesn't, we have depth in that position. So I think we'll be okay right there. I still think that defense is going to obliterate the Raiders offense. They're going to obliterate that offense.
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be a good game. They're going to battle and they'll eventually get to what they need to.
Yeah. I don't see it's not going to be a close game like we were used to seeing.
Good.
It's just not. I agree with Quentin on this. I don't think the Raiders score more than 6 points. I just don't see it happening.
I agree.
Anyway, what we got? Score predictions?
Yeah, we got score predictions and we're done.
Well, you go, Caleb, because I know you're pretty conservative.
Well, I'm going to say the Chiefs. I'm going to give them this. I'm going to say 27, Raiders 18. I think the Raiders are going to probably score a couple touchdowns, and it's a rivalry game. So I think 27-18 is a good viewpoint.
Quentin?
30-13 with a garbage time touchdown to make it 13.
Okay, I was right there with you. I'm going to say 33. I will give them a little bit more. I'll say 33-10. 33-10.
Okay.
Last week I predicted on Instagram, I predicted 28-17 Chiefs and it ended up being 28-18. Well, this time I'm going to go 33-10 Chiefs. Breakout game. Philip, who do you got? What's your score prediction, dude? And Thiz, you throw yours up there too. But if Crosby doesn't play, it might even be a different score.
Yeah, it might. He keeps him in there.
Yep. I don't know what Philip's. Let's see if Philip comes up with one real quick. I know if Thiz is out there, I know he wants to come up with something. Thiz is going to come up with. He's kind of conservative too. He said 32-13 Chiefs. Okay. That's what Thiz is saying. 32-13. Now I like that. That's good. Philip, if you're out there, he said 35-14. It's vengeance time. Mm-hmm. Yep, there we go. I don't know, man. It was hard pressed to get the 49ers to score a touchdown last week. So we'll see if the Raiders can score on us. Mm-hmm. Well, with that being said, we will talk to you guys again. Are we gonna do a Sunday game or Sunday show this week? You guys gonna be able to do one, or are we gonna do it until Tuesday?
I'll let you know.
Okay. What about you, Quentin?
Yeah, I'll do a post-game show.
All right, let's do a post-game show. We will talk to you guys after the game on Sunday. Peace out, everybody.